Last week we worked on the invitations and made these little abstract houses out of them. And this week I'm going to take these two and I'm thinking about just doing oysters for maybe a dozen. And I thought we could do some oysters in our sketchbook to start off with. I love these tempera paint sticks. They're so much fun and creamy, and I just love using these. But all I have is just some pastel colors. So I ordered these. I just got these in. And I thought we could take a look at these together. And I'll put a link down if you're interested. These just have brighter colors, and I liked the way these are like lipstick, and so you're kind of limited, but these temper sticks are a little thinner at the top. And that's a bright green, bright Kelly green. So these, the shuttle art sticks, are definitely creamier. Like, it really feels like a lipstick. These, when you put them down, they will blend, but they don't feel as creamy as the shuttle art. But I still like, they blend, and I still like the size. Let's see if you can, yep, you can use water with them. But look at all these colors. So I think I'm going to use that in my sketchbook this morning. So we'll start our week off in our sketchbook. Here's a white. That doesn't, I don't know, that really doesn't do anything, does it? I'm going to pick some fun colors and just use this acrylic soft body. Maybe some neon yellow. Some light pink. I'm going to work in this sketchbook just because of the size. Here's the information on it. But the paper is not very thick, but it seems to hold the water and the paint pretty good. But I'm using this because of the size, because what I'm going to eventually paint on is about this size. I'm going to make my oyster real colorful. But if you want to make yours more realistic, you can. I think I've already gone bigger than what my size is actually going to be, but that's okay. We're just playing in our sketchbooks. And I'm going to add the darker colors with my temper paint. So let's see how these work. I just love how you can use these. Give the illusion of a little bit of a shell around the edges. And the texture of these kind of make it kind of look like it is kind of like a shell, the rough texture. Okay, so that's our oyster. So that's a sketchbook page for you to do. Okay, I've done 12 of them. I think they turned out fun. Some of them I left the wording, and on the ones that I left blank, I added the little pearl. I think this one is my favorite, I think just because it's the orange and that green. And I like that. I used the temper sticks, the darker ones. But I did 12 for a dozen. I think this could be a fun activity. So yesterday was all about oysters, and today I'm working on another still life with the vase head. You remember I did this one 2 weeks ago, but this one is sold, and I want one for the gallery I'm in. So I'm painting a different color palette, and I love the little Frida book, but I'm gonna work on that today. See if I can't finish this up. Although my roses are so, let me show you my roses. They're pitiful. Okay, I'm calling it a day. I'm done. Okay, so today I'm working on a panel because this is going to have to go with me in a couple of weeks. We're going to North Carolina for a plein air event, and the first night there we're doing, it's a charity event, and they're raising money for the cupola house. So it's called In Bloom, and so it needs to be in bloom flowers. But they also have this teapot that the town is famous for, and I'm going to try to incorporate that in the painting. So I'm going to be working on that today, and I might try working on my sketchbook with that first, but I'm going to put an underlayer underneath this just to have something to go off of for color. When I was in school, I had a painting that had drips in it, and the professor told me that drips were stupid. So every time I have a drip, that comes back to me. I can just hear him. I'm in the same sketchbook I started in. This is the size of my panel. So I think I'm going to, because the teapot, and I'm going to put it on the screen so you can draw it with me. And I've got some, just some colored pencils and some Neo Pastels, Neo Caran d'Ache, Neo Colors. And I think I'm just going to use that. And I also have some acrylic. But you just use whatever you want, because this is just like no pressure, fun, you know, just having a play, really. Let's see. So that really goes down to it right there. This event that I'm going to, this plein air event, I was invited to go to this because I did this commission for a restaurant in Edenton, North Carolina, probably last year maybe. No, yeah, last year. And they invited me about a year ago to do this. They do this every, I think, 2 years. And I've never done a plein air event before, so I really don't know what to expect. But also, it just sounded like fun. And I get to see all the things that I painted for them. And I feel like I studied this town so much that I want to go explore the town too. So, and what's the worst that can happen? I did look up some of the other artists that are doing it, and they're amazing. And I'm going to be I'll have to show you this little miniature plein air setup that I bought. Or, you know what? I might just get on the ground. I don't mind getting on the ground. Let's see. In fact, you know, I paint a lot. When I go plein air painting, I paint on the ground a lot. But their style is definitely like, or the ones that that had websites that are going, they are realistic and, you know, just a little different than the way I work. But we're all different, so. I'm thinking about putting this in the front of the canvas, and then put, like, because this is in front of, I want to say it's the Copel house that it's in front of. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember. But I'm thinking it is at a garden, so I'm kind of wondering if I should just do an abstract garden in the back. And it's got all these little scrolls. And people. All right, that I think is enough for me to get a feel of it. And then maybe you got a little something for your sketchbook. So I wanted to look through Hinching's book just for some inspiration on his landscapes. I'm more drawn to real bright colors like this. So, and I've not, like I said, I've not been there yet, but in all the pictures that I've seen, the gardens there are just real bright. And I know the teapot is this color. But I do like the way he does his flowers real abstract. That is not what I'm gonna look like. I love that still life. But here's some of his flowers. And that, even though it's muted, I just love that. And I love how he arranges his still lifes. When I get through with going to this event, there is something I've been wanting to try, like if I sketched each still life out on paper, tore it up, and then arranged it and then painted from that. I want to try that. Okay, so that's his, but I think what I'm, oh, and look at Peggy Kroll's. She had, these are unusual flowers. And I love just how simple these are. She did a whole series of this on her Patreon. I love her Patreon if you're interested. It's a lot of fun. I'm a sucker for a craft, and she does like paper mache, and I love that. So I think what I'm going to do is just go through and pick some flowers, and not realistically, but like this. Just go off, feed off this and just paint in the background, and then I'm going to put my teapot in the front. Queen Anne's lace. That would be a lot of fun to paint. Okay, that's my plan. I love this book too because it's arranged in a nice color palette. Like all those colors look really nice together. But there's some color palettes in here that I wouldn't have thought went together, but they do. All right, flower recipe book. My time passed so fast. I mean, I started this morning and the dogs are barking because they want to be fed. That's how late it is, and I didn't even realize it. So I'm going to call this for today. So much fun. I'll see you tomorrow. This is the funniest thing, but I'm walking the dogs, and if Ollie, the pug, stays too long in one spot, she will grab his leash and make him come on. See, she's got his leash. She's like, come on, you gotta go. You gotta go. What a great day. Started at the market and ended at the factory. And here is the little sketchbook painting I did. And I used this Uniball Air. I don't know if you can see that, but it writes so nice and it's waterproof. So I put down my initial drawing first and then went back with my watercolor and then used this one for my shading because this one is water soluble and I didn't want to add water after I used this. So that is what I used. Also at her stand, I bought her little sticker, and then I bought 2 other ones. I don't know if I can get it out. Another one, and then this one. So cute. And I bought this from her. I am going to enjoy this so much when I'm painting outside because I am deeply committed to flowers. Let me show you the painting I started this week and how I'm going to leave it. So this is the one that I'm taking with me to North Carolina. I did go ahead and kind of tone that neon pink down. I mean, not too much, you know I love pink. But that is it. And I've started one down here and I'll work on that one next week. But I hope y'all have a good day, good rest of your week. Get your sketchbooks out. See you next week.